Hi, Andy.
Hey, hi, Jeanette. How are you today?
You know what? I think I'm getting my voice back from screaming at watching online Canada winning last night. The hockey. What a phenomenal game in overtime. Yes, it was so good.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. And hey, pride for Canada.
Yes, absolutely. If I had my Canadian flag, which is over there on my shelf, I'd be waving it right.
Yep.
It was a great game to watch because it was about the game and hockey, and they were just all the players were in it. They were just going, and to win it in overtime, I would say it is just one more little notch in our winning belt in hockey.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, it is the Canadian game. Let's not forget that. Even though there's more American teams, it is the Canadian game. Yes.
Well, and I can tell you when I was over in Prague, there's a lot of Canadian hockey players that go play over in Europe. And
Yes.
I think that the Prague team, when I was chatting with my sister last year when I was there, a good third of the players, I believe, are from Canada. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
our game all around the world.
No, it very much so. Yes, all around the world, and a lot of Canadian players do play in Europe. Yes, very much so.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So let's get closer to home. We know
Yeah.
what the score was in the game. What are the numbers telling us about the score here in the Fraser Valley? Do you like my segue there?
Yeah, I do. So let's take a real quick look at our numbers for February's time and see where we go from there. Okay, so end of January, we actually new listings jumped by 167% for a total, with new listings of 3,432 coming into the Fraser Valley Real Estate Board. That also they processed 818 sales during the month of January. That's an 18% decrease compared to December 2024 and a 13% decrease from January 2023. Total inventory now at that time at February 1st was 7,251. Inventory is at a 10-year seasonal high because we've had higher numbers in September where I think, almost hit 9,000. 54% above the 10-year average, though, and sales to active listings appears to bear this out at 11%. The overall ratio is signaling a buyer's market. With detached homes, and this is important, detached homes firmly in buyer's market territory.
Andy, just before you go ahead, if you can go back to that last slide, I'm being a lady, I think differently, and my background is in retail. To me, this means I've opened the store, I have stocked my shelves with
Yes. Yeah.
amazing
Yeah.
properties and inventory,
Yes.
and that as a store owner, it's got to look good.
Yes.
Like your
Yeah.
home has got to look good, everything's got to look good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, and I've said that in my weekly videos that sellers need to make sure that the presentation of their listing is 110% because the competition is stiff. There are a lot of homes out there. You can see from this graph that I've taken those numbers, and our inventory is of new listings is here compared to our sales, and that's a big jump from last month. But you can see that for January. This is not an unusual situation for January where a lot of new listings coming into the marketplace. People take off their homes in December or they want to get into the new year. And so, January is a big listing month, but January of 2025 outdid itself that way.
Mhm.
And you can see it there here. This is of months of inventory, and we've shot up to 8.7. However, as I mentioned before, September 2024, we had 9.2. Although this is the second highest, and it's the highest seasonally for January in terms of inventory. So there's a lot of homes out there that you
Mhm.
can choose from. Where that puts that also too in breaking it down a little bit further. So uh, condominiums, 5.1 months of inventory to 7.1, and between 5 and 7 months is considered balanced, and below 5 months inventory is considered seller's market, and above 7 is considered buyer's market. And so you can see here the detached homes was in the balanced market, and we've shot up into the buyer's market. Now, this might change. It does fluctuate quite a bit, and February's numbers will probably bring this down a bit. Pricing in terms of our housing price index, you can see that we've pretty well everything stayed about the same. we didn't change a lot, especially condos. Like these condos and townhomes, I think changed by $100 or $150. The detached homes came down a little bit, I think by about $1,000. So we're kind of just flat, and we're expecting to see a change in interest rates again, and maybe another 1/4%. We had a 0.5% drop in December. January gave us a 1/4%. Prime is now sitting at 3%. So it might dip below 3. The big thing that's holding buyers back, of course, is tariffs. And I'll be talking about tariffs and the effect of the real estate in a video next week so that we can talk about that in our monthly get together. Here again, we're looking at Langley specifically, 4 months of inventory, 4.8 for condos, jumped up a little bit for townhomes. Townhomes inventory is still quite low. And then, of course, this is the reflection that we're seeing all across the Fraser Valley. 4.8% that was firmly in the seller category has shot up into the buyers at 9.2 months of inventory. So we really have seen a jump in inventory, specifically in detached homes. And of course, pricing for Langley, it's a little hard to read here, but we jumped up about $1,500. Pricing still went up a little bit. Langley is the best place to move to.
Yes, I agree.
And we can even talk a little bit about Walnut Grove.
Yes, let's.
And 862, 800 to 864. And, again, even condos jumped up by $4,000. So, but it's still bouncing along, a level. It is not really going up, not really going down in terms of pricing. That is kind of holding its own, even with all this inventory. Maybe the month of February, we might see a bit of a decrease in pricing due to all the inventory that came in January, and a little bit of buyer hesitation out there, waiting to see what March 4th will do in terms of the tariff and how does that affect the marketplace. I'm looking forward to March 14th for us to discuss that, and I'll stop my share.
Yeah, so let's just go back. We'll stop the share and go back to what your conversation or your comment was about Walnut Grove. And Andy, I follow you on your Instagram and Facebook, and your YouTube channel is incredibly informative. And your this week's video was about Walnut Grove. I think because I have it bookmarked, or what they say, alerted in out there in the internet, because I lived in Walnut Grove for almost 13 years, and I loved it. So 216th and 95th, I could go to Fort Langley really quickly. I could go up to Save on Foods and there. So if you could tell me about the school system, because if I'm going to move in there with say a young family, so what can I expect in the school system? No,
Walnut Grove has an excellent school system. My kids went to Walnut Grove. I can tell you that the Walnut Grove is predominantly growing families, and the schools there's a plethora of elementary schools. One of them that our children went to was James Kennedy, French immersion from kindergarten right through. And also too, there's École, where if you have French heritage, your kids can go there. And really importantly, Walnut Grove High School, we had only a pleasant, fantastic experience there. Our kids continued on with French immersion all through high school. It has a lot to offer. It is progressive. It is trying to really give kids a lot to grasp and learn and move forward and give them direction for life. And also too, we've got just south there's the Mount View, and it's an IB school. And also too, in Fort Langley, we've got the Fort Langley Fine Arts School, which is, both of them are like minutes away. So schools are absolutely fantastic in Walnut Grove due to its location too in the township of Langley.
Okay, what about diversity of property? You say this young family, and I know a young first-time home buyer. Maybe that detached home is out of the realm right now. What is the diversity of properties that are available?
Well, and Walnut Grove, it really offers something for everybody, because if you're a first-time home buyer and you're looking to buy that first condo, there are several condos there that are excellent location. They're not that old. They are well maintained, well managed, and also too, we have a ton of townhomes that you can start your family in. And detached homes, they range from entry starting to executive style. And best of all, there's this a lot of senior developments here, age restricted, master bedroom on the main. And this is where like your family can live here and everybody can be close by. Your parents can be just down the street. Your kids can start their first home. You know, like it's built around keeping family together. And that's one of the best things that I find about Walnut Grove.
So now I'm going to choose to live there, but I work in Burnaby. I work in
Yeah,
South
yeah,
Surrey. You know, what's the
yeah.
access like?
Well, I mean, there's a huge amount of access on 200th Street and 216th, or if you need to just get into downtown Langley over 208th Street, and also too, there's the Alex Fraser Bridge that goes north over to Maple Ridge. There's a lot, you know, Walnut Grove is really strategically located because you have really good access to the freeway. If you want to go into the interior, we go up to Big White. It's 4 hours because we don't have to go through the downtown traffic. We just hop onto the freeway and we go east. If we're going downtown, you know, we spend a lot of time down on around Burrard Street, and it takes us 35, 45 minutes. And you know, there's a lot to be said about our infrastructure, and it's improving all the time. I know that over the years we've had some issues, but now they're putting the HOV from 216 all the way out to it's going to go all the way out to Chilliwack. So you know that those kind of congestions are worked on, and infrastructure is being improved. And also, too, the SkyTrain is coming down to Langley City, and that will be such a just a short hop down 200th Street to the SkyTrain. You can hop on and get into Vancouver, see the fireworks like really quick.
Well, and I know when I lived in Walnut Grove, the bus, the 555 to go to Carvalth, I think you say
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
parking near there, and within 20 minutes or 22 minutes, you're at a SkyTrain station to go downtown. So leaving your car, or if you're a commuter. So now I've got my family moved there. I understand the traffic. What about like some amenities? What is there to do in Walnut Grove?
Wow. Yeah. Well, that's again, location, location, location. You know, Walnut Grove is situated right by the Fraser River. We've got Derby Reach Park. We got the Fort to Fort Trail, surrounding acreages that you can have a horse if you want to have a horse. And two, there's the Walnut Grove Rec Center right beside the high school. It has a full-size pool. It has a huge slide. It's got a library. It has a lot of. It's got a skate park. So there's a lot of things that your kids can do and be part of. If you are so inclined towards water, it's there. And you know, Fraser River, you can go kayaking, you can go fishing, you can actually go camping at the Derby Reach Park, and they have an off-leash dog park there too. So I can also because Walnut Grove. All through Walnut Grove, there's tennis courts. And so if you love to play tennis, there's these little parks and they have tennis courts.
So I'm going to wrap it up from here because Walnut Grove, I miss living in Walnut Grove. I live in out in South Langley in Alder Grove. That to kind of, as we talk over the months, then I'm going to wrap it up that Walnut Grove is the perfect position for events. And we've got the Fort Langley Jazz and Arts Festival that's walking or ride your bike up to the Langley Events Center where, you know, the Langley Giants play and our different hockey and events. I think part of the Rugby Sevens. I could be wrong. And of course, the new theater that's going to be in Fort Langley that's going to be opening up. So Walnut Grove is the perfect little positioning yourself to start your family or to retire. You know what, Andy, I think after this video, you're going to get a lot of calls about, can you take me to some homes in Walnut Grove, please?
Yeah. In terms of affordability too, it really, it's one of those locations where you can find something and it fits everybody.
Yeah, and shopping, the townhomes and apartments and stuff like that live around the fresh street, and then walking and Devon Food in that shopping center at 210 and 88. So it's got definitely something for everybody. So this has been fascinating, Andy. There's so much to learn about, I like to say, the donut that surrounds the Langley city. And I wonder where you'll take me next and educate me next month about another area of the township of Langley.
Yeah. Well, you know, there are 7 different districts, parts of Langley, including Langley City, and I do intend to explore each and one of them. It might take a year or so, but we'll get through them.
Sounds great. So I will see you back March 14th.
You bet.